Hey guys, Coach Eric here. It has been a good while, since I made a video other than just like a little story, keeping up with my training exploits or anything like that. But, sometimes life throws curveballs at us or hits us with jabs and uppercuts, however you want to phrase it. But sometimes we get hit with life's challenges and we have to kind of bear down and ground ourselves and deal with it the best way that we can. So, um, yeah, now that I feel like I'm getting into a comfortable place with that. I do have a job to do. I do have impact to make. I do have people to help, and so I need to start getting these videos back out there. And the first thing I want to start off with was something that made me feel really good, not only as a coach, but also as a dad. The other day, so my son is 6 and he's in first grade, and like a lot of kids his age, he's still trying to figure out his place, or he's still trying to figure out how he fits in with other kids, or if he wants to fit in with other kids, or to what degree, all that stuff, typical 6-year-old stuff. But as such, confidence comes and goes. So one minute he's super confident, super competitive, wants to beat everybody and everything, and then the next minute, I can't do it, it's too hard, I suck, whatever the case is. Typical 6-year-old stuff, like I said. So a lot of you guys know that my son has been running with me for about 2.5, almost 3 years now, since about March of 2020. So literally coming up on 3 years here shortly. He's only 6, so he's been running, like actually running, since he was 3.5, whether that was on the treadmill or whether that was out on the road with me. And it's been a while, like I said, going on 3 years, but he's at the point now where he could run 3 to 4 miles. I'm not gonna say easily, but he gets it done, and that's incredible because I was really old before I was able to do that kind of mileage. Way older than 6 for sure. So, anyways, this is something that he's been doing for a while, and why I bring this up is because he had been telling me, oh, Dad, there's this kid at school as a second grader, 7. He's like, there's this kid at school that we play sports in after school class, and he's faster than me. He beat me in a race, and I thought I was the fastest, but he beat me. So he was not just disappointed about it, he's been devastated by it. The better part of the school year so far, I mean, we're halfway through the school year already, and so this has come up probably at least a dozen times. I know this kid's name like the back of my hand now. Seen him, cute little kid, very cute little kid. I'm sure his parents are proud of his progress and everything too. But of course, I wasn't gonna let that thought sit with my boy, and so I've been not only helping him, get accustomed to his running and all the different intricacies of it. I mean, even right now, he knows on demand a good bit more than most adult clients that I've dealt with in probably ever, to be honest with you, because he's just in that sponge mode, so he absorbs it all. But long story short, he's been training and working on it. He wants to start playing football next year. This kid already plays football, and so I think that he's like, oh, this kid plays football, that's why he's faster than me. And I'm like, son, he hasn't been running longer than you for sure. It's just in your mind. So the other day I tell him he's getting ready to go to school, and I'm like, he said they had a fun day coming up. They had like this fun race, like a school kind of like field day event, and they had this race that they were going to do, all the kids. And he's like, I really want to beat this kid. I really want to beat this kid. And I said, well, son, I said, here's the thing. I said, I've seen this kid run before, because I have. I pick up my son from after school, and I watch what they're doing sometimes before I go in there and grab him. But I said, look, I've seen this kid run. I said, he's fast. He's very cute, very sweet little boy. I said, but son, you could beat him right now. I'm telling you, you could beat him right now. I said, I've seen you run. I've seen you sprint. I've seen how long you could run. I've seen how fast you could run. You could beat this kid 100%. No, I can't. No, I can't. He's in second grade. He's 7. I'm only 6. And I'm like, son, trust me. I said, I guarantee you, even if you feel like this kid's faster, I said, he doesn't train as much as you do. I said, because hardly any kids your age do. They just don't. They're doing other stuff. I said, and the main reason you do is because that's what I do all the time. That's what I do for work. Been doing it for years. So you have the ability to be able to buckle down and train up early on some of the stuff that other kids don't. So I'm explaining it to him, and I could see the wheels turning. And I'm like, so look at this. I said, you go to that race tomorrow. I said, you have to tell yourself before you go, like, I work out all the time. I train all the time with my dad. I do all this stuff. I drink my water. I get good sleep. I take my naps. I take my vitamins. I said, you do all this stuff all the time that you're with me, I said, so you already have everything you need to beat this kid. You just need to tell yourself before the race, I'm going to do it, and then it's going to be done. So lo and behold, I pick him up. And I think they had their field day Thursday. So I picked him up Thursday afternoon, and he's like itching to, get out the door when they let him out. He's like, Dad, guess what? And I'm like, what? And he's like, I beat him. And I was like, what do you mean? I needed context. And he was like, yeah, I beat so-and-so, at the race today. And he's like, and he was way behind me. I started laughing. And then I told him, I said, was it just you two, or other kids? And of course he was like, no, there was other kids, but he was only focused on that one kid who had beat him before. And I was like, and then what happened afterwards? He was like, and then they tried to race again. I beat him again. I started laughing. And I was laughing, but at the same time, I was smiling ear to ear like I am now. And I was just so super proud of my son. And I told him, I said, hey, son, I said, that's how it goes. I said, if you calm down and you get confident and you tell yourself, like, look, I've been putting in the work. I train when nobody else is training, so it's going to pay off. I said, that's the kind of stuff that happens. And as quickly as I was telling him that and seeing his little face light up, and he's downloading all this information and kind of validating it himself, what Dad's saying, it just made me kind of reflect on my own journey and my own training and all the stuff that's led me to this moment here at 36 years old, still figuring stuff out, still getting better by the day, and still feeling like there's something to learn literally every single day. In fact, I feel like if you're not learning something new, you're probably not making much of an effort. And so I say all that to say this, I made a comment on an adult community, not like adult like that kind of adult, but it was on Facebook, so of course it's for adults. But it was a community page in regards to weight loss, and I had made a post or a comment the other day talking about how I'm like, you could have the best diet plan, best exercise plan, best trainer, best routine, best discipline, all that stuff. But if part of your discipline isn't to discipline your mind to become strong in your mind, like you're trying to become strong in your body, it's all going to fall apart. 100% it's going to fall apart. And there's so many different manifestations of that, so many different examples of that. And I just wish people really took the time to stop, think about it, really assess where they're at, and then see some of the things they have to work on internally. I know a lot of times it feels like we have to focus on the external. But I'm telling you that it's just a trick of the ego. It is just a trick of the world, the illusion that we live in, and everything that we need to work on and really value and really look forward to progressing and making right and getting in alignment. All that stuff is internal. And so over the last year, I know a lot of you guys have, if you guys have been keeping up with anything I've been doing, you guys know that I've been working on almost a exclusively consultant type basis where I'm not so much, in the trenches, so to speak, working with clients one-on-one in person. Because to be honest with you, most people just don't listen, and they don't listen because they don't care, right? And so when I focus on getting them to care by shifting their perspective and getting them to see why they should care and why it benefits them ultimately in the short and long term, that's where I'm successful. That's where I've shifted my focus to, and that's where it's going to continue to stay. And so one reason I like to highlight this and talk about the importance of, my method or my philosophy specifically is because mine is built on sustainability, right? So it's not that, for me personally, it's not that I'm training for a strength competition or a bodybuilding event, or even though I do have a race coming up next month, do I expect to realistically win it? I'm all about confidence and, seeing the victory beforehand and stuff like that, but the odds are not in my favor. Is it possible I could do really well? Yeah, it's possible, and I'm sure I will do well. But as far as, hitting that upper peak, that's just simply not where my training is geared to right now as far as becoming like an elite, super fast runner. I like to stay capable across the full spectrum of fitness disciplines. That's just for me personally. That's what I like. That's what I find sustainable. But even though I have that race coming up, it's not something that is dominating my psyche. It's not something that I'm obsessed over outside of staying really disciplined and sticking to my run schedule. But it's not something that if I don't place or if I don't get a super great time or set a PR, I'm not going to be bummed out about it, feeling like I wasted my time, or I'm not going to feel like less of a person or any less in shape. I have all the confidence I need without any of that stuff. And so my whole point I'm trying to make is it's great to be chasing a goal. It's great to be focusing on that carrot dangling in front of you, something that you want to pursue, chase after. But don't let those goals dominate your psyche and dominate your living in the moment, essentially, right? Because we'll let a lot of good things slip under the radar, a lot of good things slip by. And then by the time you hit that goal, if you're one of those people that always has to have a goal, you're probably already going to be focused on the next one as you're hitting this first one, and you're not really going to live in the moment and get a chance to enjoy it anyway. So it's best to break that pattern now. So get into a routine that is sustainable. Like I said, me and my family, we had a fairly difficult event that we went through recently, and it hit me right in the mouth. But at the end of the day, discipline is there when motivation fails to clock in for work, and that's what sees you through from day to day, from week to week, month to month, and ultimately year to year, adding more health span to your lifespan along the way. And so for anybody that is listening to this message, you followed me thus far, it's been 10, almost 11 minutes already. I talk a lot, right? But that's what I do. I'm a consultant, I'm a mentor, I'm a coach, I'm a leader. I do all that stuff. And so I talk until the point is received and until the message is heard, right? And so for anybody out there, like I said, we're coming up on the last week of the year, getting ready to head into 2023. And so if you're still not feeling quite right physically, you got body fat to lose, you got muscles to tighten up, you have muscles to grow, you're not feeling right mentally, where you're just having good days and bad days, probably more bad days than good days, that up and down seesaw. Maybe you're not right spiritually, where you feel okay mentally, you feel okay physically, but that maybe your physical fitness or lack of being able to express it is holding you back in those other two realms, that being your physical and your mental. Regardless, I'm somebody that personally focuses on all three. When I coach people, I get them to focus on all three, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I tell people, try to ride through life with stability as if you're on a tricycle. Wheel in the front, two in the back, ultimately three, right? You get that triangle, those three pillars. Don't do it like a bicycle where there's only two wheels. And if you lose momentum, you could fall off to the left or to the right. Damn sure don't do it like a unicycle, because it takes even less to knock you off your center with only one wheel. And so ultimately, however it works, whether people need analogies that they could visualize, whether they need goals that they could realize, combination of the two, whatever the case is, formulate a plan. If you have trouble with that, or you don't know where to start, get with somebody that can help you formulate a plan, and then go from there. Because like I tell people all the time, the greatest opportunity for consistency is through simplicity. So let somebody make it sound simple for you. Don't worry about that information overload. Don't worry about getting stressed out. Don't worry about having to figure out what the next move is. And then just execute to the point where you become almost robotic with your ability to do it and not get knocked off your center. And then once you hit that level of proficiency, sustainability, then you could actually start to remove the amount of consciousness that you put into your daily routine, because it should be becoming more intuitive by that point. So if you're picking up what I'm putting down, and you're like, yeah, this sounds like me, this sounds like something I need help with, hit me up. I tell people all the time, I am not the cheapest, but I am the best trainer out there. Point blank, period. I do fitness coaching, I do metabolic coaching. I try not to write meal plans, but I can help people with that in that area. And I do write workout plans, because it's not necessarily the exercises that you're doing, it's how you're executing them and the order in which you're doing them. Can't stress that enough. So if you're one of those people and you're out there and you're soaking this all up and you're like, man, I really need to get on it, hit me up, shoot me a DM. You guys can call me, if those of you guys that know my number. If not, I'll link it down below in the post. But yeah, let's get on it. I'm sitting here at home, could be talking to more clients right now, but I have a light evening, and I know some of you guys out there need help. So whether it's you, a family member, friend, an acquaintance, whatever, send them my way, and we'll make sure that you hit 2023, not only in a jog, so to speak, but in a figurative and perhaps literal sprint, if that's what you're into. And so hopefully somebody got something out of that. Life happens, man, but make sure that you're ready to deal with it. And one last thing, like I tell people, when that curtain, starts to feel like it's closing in on you, and things start getting dark, and you're not sure how you're gonna make it through the day or make it through the week, and just tell yourself, and I know it's not always easy, but tell yourself that you must meet conditions as you are currently, rather than the conditions as they appear to be, right? And if you could do that, you can meet things as you feel internally, and you're internally in alignment, you're going to be able to deal with anything that comes your way. So you guys take it easy. Have a great Christmas, or Merry Christmas, great New Year's Day, and I will see you guys soon. Take it easy. Coach out.